Hi everyone, I'm Rachel. In this tutorial, I'll teach you how to color a multicolor hyper-realistic bubble using the Color Therapy app. For best results, use a reference to work from. You can draw whatever you want in the reflection, like palm trees, a mountain scene, etc. Find this image by typing in circle into the search bar. So here's the reference that I'll be working from. I like that the background has some nature. We have some trees, a few buildings. It looks like it's reflecting on some water too. And then the main colors we have are like neon bright colors. We have turquoise, yellow, and sort of a pink and blue, kind of just fading all together. So here's the template I'm working from. It's just a circle. You can use anything else though, that's a circle in the template. So let's start off by using the airbrush tool. Set the size at 70 and opacity at 40. Now you can use either the colors from the neon palette or the glow palette. They both are really good colors to create that shiny, glossy look. So I think I'm gonna start off with this turquoise color on the first row. It's the last color. And I'm just drawing a nice circle in the middle, making sure that coloring inside the lines mode is set to off. And then I'll use a darker blue now. So I'm using the third color on the second row and just drawing a bit of a circle around that and just kind of fading it outward. And now I'll use a bright pink. I'm using that last pink on the last row and just drawing another circle around that, just blending it outward. Then I'll use a bright yellow, so that bright neon yellow on the top row, just adding another layer around it. And then I might just fade it back out to a blue. I'm using the first one on the second row, just blending that in around the edges. Now let's blend it with the smear tool. Set the size and intensity at 100 and just softly blend all those colors into each other. Just making the edges nice and soft. Now let's go ahead and tap in the background. I'm using the Dark Shades 2 palette and I'm selecting the second color on the first row. Now over in the Hair Shades palette, select the sixth color on the top row. Now let's go ahead and draw in our reflection. So select the airbrush tool. We're gonna do between size 1 and 7. Let's just start with size 2. And opacity can be at 100. So zooming in, we're gonna draw the reflection. So it's starting off looking like there's a straight line just going across the bubble like that. And I see there's a little building and another one reflecting below it. And these are gonna be really loose too, because it's a bubble, so it's not reflecting it perfectly. It's gonna be a bit warped. So you can kind of use your finger and just sort of scribble along. You can raise the size a little bit to fill in some areas and just go ahead and draw the entire reflection. For drawing trees and leaves, it's helpful to lower the size really low, and then you can just do little scribbly motions with your finger, and that'll help look like little branches and leaves. And just keep in mind that the reflections on the inner edges of the bubble are really going to be warped. So as you get to these edges here, if there's a tree, it's going to be really warped and bent a bit. And I'm just looking at my reference for ideas where to put objects. And it's going to be just curved all the way around. So don't worry too much about little details with the reflections. It's okay if it's a bit loose. So just continue drawing in the whole reflection on the bubble, curving around those edges. Now let's blend it with the smear tool. You can keep the size and intensity at 100. I'm just going to be tapping in a little area here and there with my finger in the area where the water is. So it's reflecting onto the water in my bubble. So I'm going to make that reflection a little more blurry than above it. And then when I get to the areas on the edges, I'm going to blend those a lot more since they're going to be a lot more warped. So just really blend in those edges, just curving with the bubble. And you can also blur a little bit of the top area too, just so it looks nice and smooth. It doesn't need to be really detailed, but I would keep a few areas that are clear as well. Now let's add in a layer of color on top of that. So go back to the airbrush. Let's set the size at 25 and opacity at 40. Back in the glow palette, I'm using pink and yellow, the same ones that we used before. And I'm gonna add in a little color where it is already. So where I see the yellow band, I'm just gonna add in a little overlaying my brown areas. And with the pink, I'll just do the same thing. So just adding in a little layer just right there. And now also let's raise the size all the way to 100 and just add random little dots with your finger into the bubble just for a nice extra reflection. Finish it off by removing the lines. Look for other images in the app that already contain circles and you can create multiple bubbles. If you'd like to see more tutorials like this, don't forget to subscribe to the Color Therapy YouTube channel so you don't miss any new tutorial videos. Thanks for watching our tutorial. You can get the Color Therapy app for free on the App Store.